and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow host Johnny Paulus. Johnny, welcome in. How are you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing good. We did the Ren Fest. It was opening weekend this weekend for the Ren Fest, so did that whole thing. Bought the boys some geodes and some gems, and had some good food. And I have a new favorite thing at Ren Fest now. Have you had the ribbon fries?
Yes.
Yeah, ribbon fries are that's peak Ren Fest food right there. Those are incredible.
Yeah, isn't a ribbon fry actually just onion ring? Is it?
No, so they take an onion and they spiral cut it real thin, and then fry that, and it's basically like a big pile of chips.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But they're like parts of it are chewy and parts of it are extra crispy, and it's the difference in texture that makes it so good. But man, a little bit of vinegar on a little bit of salt. Oh my god. I could have polished off 3 of those things. They were damn good.
Yeah, if probably would have been a great time to be at Ren Fair other than it was hot as fucking balls out today. Jesus.
It was hot today, yes.
Running around in the humid ass woods in a sold out Ren Fair with a bunch of drunk people in costumes.
Yeah, no, we did not stay as long as we were intending on because it was just it was so hot. We finally we got there right when it opened, and I think it was like around 2 or 3 o'clock where like everybody I look at Damon, my youngest. Damon's done. Damon is just like he looks absolutely wiped. I look at Megan, she's wiped. I'm like, hey, we can go. Like we don't have to be here all day. If everybody kind of did what they wanted to do and ate what they wanted to eat, and like we're all good, and then we're good, we can go home. So that's what we did.
Fantastic. I did not go to the Ren Fair, although one of my stepkids works there, running the slides, so to speak. But it's been a long week and a half. I don't know. I don't really know what the hell's going on right now. I think we're both having our dicks kicked in by allergies right now.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun.
Because summer is over and now it is fall, right? Isn't fall officially here? Or is that later in September? I don't know.
I don't think it's officially fall yet, but it's damn close.
Okay, we're getting close to fall. What we are getting close to is September. This month of August is almost done. So we've got deceptively a lot to talk about this week. And I can't remember what the fuck I did or anything interesting to say about what's going on in my life, which probably doesn't say much for me, but definitely.
I mean, I just went to Ren Fest. I'm not exactly killing it in the game.
I got a gym membership. How about that?
Hey, that's not nothing.
Yeah. Old Mike is gonna undo what the hands of time have done. So.
And I am 2 weeks nicotine free.
See, look at that. All that positivity right there.
Self-improvement, baby.
Yeah, so you're done with it at this point. I mean,
pretty much
from a physical standpoint. You
yeah.
could still fuck up and ruin everything that you've worked on, like in a bad moment.
I could, yes.
But don't do that. You're already there. You're already there. It's done.
I think even at the point that I'm at now that it's been 2 weeks, even if I were like out drinking with my friends and bummed a cigarette, I don't think I'd be like, well, time to go buy a pack and start smoking again.
That's exactly how that goes. Remember, I've quit for longer periods more times than I've ever seen you without.
Right.
Let me tell you something. That's exactly the kind of thinking that will completely fuck everything that you've done.
Okay.
If you're even sitting here thinking, "Oh yeah, next time I'm at a bar, I could do that," you've made no progress. You really can't ever touch it again if you expect to not have it be a thing.
That's fair.
So it's one of the, because I promise you'll do it once, right? And you'll be like, "Ah, man, that was really fucking awesome." And then you'll start off with just, you know what? I'm going to go to the bar again. And maybe it's only been 2 weeks. And you're like, well, I'm at the bar. It's been 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I could go again. Then you find yourself at the bar next week. Then you find yourself at the bar 2 times the following week. And then you realize, well, I might as well just go buy my own and stop going to the bar.
Yeah.
And so you'll be like, well, how many times did I go to the bar? Well, I went twice. Okay, so I can have 2 a week. And then you just have to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're an addict. Like, yeah, that's how it works.
Well,
no bueno.
I got the 0% going, so
I guess I'll stick with that. It's kind of a strange path. I don't know many people that quit by continuing to do the thing that they were quitting.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever works, I guess, right?
I mean, I was at Renfest all day, and I didn't feel like compelled to be pulling out the vape all day. So like that's not nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm getting better for sure.
Especially at Ren Fair where everyone's shit-faced drunk.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is episode 130 of your Power Gamer podcast. As always, we ask wherever you're listening to our show, whether it's on Spotify or Google or Apple, wherever it may be, maybe take a moment and leave a nice review or give a thumbs up, you YouTube scallywags, and perhaps subscribe to the channel.
Do it.
As we do every week, it is time to start this week's episode by discussing the games we've been playing. Johnny, I'll let you have first crack here.
Sure. So I'm still working on System Shock Remake. Similar to games of that era, this game does not hold your hand. It does not really tell you exactly what you need to do. There's a lot of backtracking and trying to figure out what doors can I now access now that I have that new key card, or it's tough, and it has some major survival horror aspects. I actually was thinking about it today. I want to like do some research and figure out, when did the original System Shock come out versus when did the original Resident Evil come out? Because although this is a first-person game, there are a lot of elements in it that are reminding me of Resident Evil. Specifically,
System Shock's way older.
I thought so. So one of the things that I found interesting with this game is that it does have the inventory game, right? Where you have your inventory blocks, and every item, every weapon, every grenade, every heal, they all take up a certain amount of squares in your inventory, and you're constantly having to either vaporize things for resources or drop stuff that you have excess of. And then there are these recycle stations where you go and you turn in all these things and you get credits, and then you can use those credits to buy more heals, buy more ammo, stuff like that. So it feels a lot like a survival horror game, which again, it's been a very long time since I played this game, and I didn't remember that being such a driving force. But no, it's interesting to play a game that goes this far back, and you can see all the inspirations that led to games like Resident Evil. Obviously, BioShock is not a coincidence that Shock is in the title. It is a love letter to System Shock. Even the way that when you die, you resurrect in another spot, and you can sort of backtrack and go back to where you were. All of that's in System Shock. It is tough. I'm at kind of a frustrating part in the game. I was kind of cussing at the game a little bit my last playthrough. I gotta just pull up the walkthrough and figure out how to get through where I'm at, where I'm stuck, because I am kind of in this loop of running out of ammo, don't have enough heals, there's more bad guys I got to kill. I go through all that trouble, and I'm like, but I'm not progressing. I didn't open a new door. I didn't find a new key. I'm going through the motions of like fighting shit and dying and spending resources, but not progressing through the game. So again, the game's not holding my hand, and I've definitely hit a point where like I need to just pull up the walkthrough and get over the hump. But the game's very cool, and one of the things I actually really like about it is there are these puzzles you have to do where it's like it reminds me actually another thing, it reminds me of BioShock. If you remember like the routing puzzles where it's like you gotta take the power from this part of the panel over to that part of the panel, which means you got to move these things around, and it has a lot of that. But what's cool with the System Shock game is they're procedurally generated. So when you start your game, you choose what difficulty you want the combat to be. what difficulty you want the puzzles to be, and what difficulty I think the security levels of the ship to be. Like, how bad are the turrets, how bad are the cameras, shit like that. But the puzzles are they're challenging. There's been a couple that I'm sitting there, I feel like I'm fucking with it for 10 minutes trying to get it figured out, and I'm normally pretty quick on those. So, but yeah, the game's great. I'm still really enjoying it, and for the low price of, I think I got it for $25 or $30, it's a pretty awesome game.
Yeah, System Shock. I knew Resident Evil's, unsurprisingly, 1996, but System Shock was 1994.
Yeah, no, this game was definitely ahead of its time, and you can see why it is so heralded over years later as being such a pinnacle in gaming, and it's cool to be able to play the remake, and it still sort of feels old school in a very neat way, but it's awesome. I'm enjoying it a lot, and anybody that's never played it, if you like first person shooters, especially if you like first person sort of puzzly shooters, figuring out what to do. This game is not about the gunplay. This game is about figuring out how to get through the levels. So I'm enjoying it a lot. On top of that, I've been playing a shit ton of Baldur's Gate 3 with the misses. Co-op on this game continues to be amazing. There's so many different tasks that you need to accomplish and so many different ways to accomplish them. There was one side quest we were on where we had to it was like this tiefling that runs like the Thieves Guild in the Emerald Grove, which is like one of the first towns you get to, where there's a bunch of druids running it, and they're doing this big ritual in the middle of the town. They have this giant idol, and they're all doing their magical ritual around this idol, and this tiefling in the Thieves Guild is like, I need you to go steal that idol for me. And we couldn't figure out how in the hell to get around this. How do we do this? Like, even just going to it and seeing the visibility of where people can see you, like, how the fuck are we going to get away with this? Finally, I came up with the idea, well, wait a minute. My monk has a spell that encases an area in shadow so that no one can see in and no one can see out. So I think I could put that shadow down and steal it and get out of there. And then I need Megan, my wife, to stand right near the leader of these guilds. So the moment that they notice the idol is gone, they talk to her and accuse her of stealing it, because her charisma is maxed the fuck out. She can deceive anyone. I mean, her multipliers, her modifiers on persuasion are through the roof. So that was what we ended up doing, and it worked. I did my little shadow, I stole it, I sneaked off, and then when they went, hey, where's the idol? They went to her, and she, rolled like a 19 or some shit, and they were like, okay, fair enough. I guess you don't have it. Take it easy. And so that was the end of that quest. But this game is like, it's really sort of chaotic in the amount of different things that you can do and how you can handle combat, how you can build your character. I don't think anyone is ever going to have the same experience playing this game. And it's really refreshing to play a game that is really like that, where you can kill every character. You can, I'm sure you remember back in the old CRPG days, the Baldur's Gates and the shit like that. One of the things that always made them intriguing is that no one was safe. You could kill the shopkeeper and steal his entire inventory if you wanted. There'd be repercussions for doing so, but you could do that. And Baldur's Gate 3 keeps that same sort of chaotic craziness going. And the co-op is just great. The fact that either of us can go wherever and do whatever, and if one of us gets into combat, they're basically paused, and the other one can go, all right, hold on, I'm going to fast travel and go join the fight. I'll be with you in a second. But awesome. And then other than that, I put in another, I beat another 3-4 levels of Quake 2. So I ranted a little bit a couple weeks back on the new sort of remaster re-release that they did with no additional price tag. So if you already owned Quake 2 on Steam, if you already owned Quake 2 on your Xbox, your PlayStation, or whatever, it got a major upgrade for completely free. And game still holds up, man. I mean, I know it's like, it's not complicated gameplay, but it's still fun. The weapons are still fun. The Strogs, the weird sound they make every time they see you. It's very nostalgic for me. I think I might actually play that game all the way through again, because it's been a long time since I've sat down and beat Quake 2. But I also got to play those new bonus levels. There's like a whole new string of levels they just released. So I want to play through all of it. Quake 2 still holds up. It's a lot of fun.
Well, the nice thing with Quake 2, it doesn't take a very long time to complete.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's
pretty short.
Yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun with it. What about you, Mike? What'd you play this week?
All right, we got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about real quick. Let's start off with Tactics Ogre Reborn. I'm not playing this game anymore. We're done.
Yeah,
we're done.
Why is that?
So it's cool, I guess, but it's almost set up in a way where like the first time you sit down with a game, you're gonna have to like reset like 25 hours in to do things correctly.
Oh,
because there's not really like good instructions for the game, and there's so much customization to how you can build your team and leveling them up and stuff, which at first I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is great. So I build out my main guy to be like all offense kind of dude. Well, about 25 hours into the game, you get into an instance where it has to be just your character versus this tank paladin that can heal himself.
Oh my god! So he's just gonna outlast you no matter what.
And he also hits like a goddamn fucking truck.
Oh my god!
And my class can't heal at all. I'm like, I messed around with it for like a solid hour. Even going so far as like trying to do things to glitch the game into my favor. And so I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay, here's where we're at. I can leave this instance, equip a new job for my character, grind that up all the way back to my current level, and then beat this guy's living fucking brains in and continue on the story. I said, or I could just stop. You know what I said? I said, let's just stop. It's fine. I've gotten enough of it. It's whatever. But I'm stopping. I'm not doing that. So
wow. That's not like you, Mike. I'm surprised.
No more Tactics Ogre Reborn. There's just too much shit on the plate right now to play. It's like I don't have time for that. So we're good.
True that.
Next up, the Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Finally.
Has decided that I'm not playing the game anymore. It decided that on its own.
Oh my god, what?
Let me back up a bit. I was actually having a lot of fun with Lord of the Rings Gollum. I'm not going to lie. I was having a good time with it. Yeah, it's corny. The graphics are horrid. Plays like a PS2 game, which I'm the audience for that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And I'm having an okay time with it. And I really hadn't been having like awful bugs, right? So I'm at the end of chapter 5. And the game checkpoints at autosaves. That's how it, which the system has been great. However, as I'm running from all these spiders trying to end my soul at the end of chapter 5 through these tunnels, I hit an objective marker that takes me into a load screen, like to load the next level or whatever.
Right.
Because it does that because it's basically a PS2 game. So as soon as it finishes loading, fucking Smeagol falls through the floor into oblivion and dies. Okay. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So restart checkpoint. Falls through the floor and dies.
No.
Now I can't respawn. I'm like, okay, so turn the game off, turn the game on again. Whatever. Load in the game. Falls through the floor into oblivion and dies. Respawn. Falls through the floor into the oblivion, and now you can't respawn. I gave it 10 times.
Ouch.
Of just playing the loop and like trying to move the character like his loading screen's on or whatever. And I said, all right, Gollum, well, I was going to pull for you. I was going to give you a decent take. I said, but when that's the problem, you got problems. You got bad problems, man.
So you can't even like load from chapter 4 and just play that level again?
I'm not doing all that. Because like, here's the thing. Why would I invest more time into a game that's doing that?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It's like that fool me once kind of mentality. It's like, if it's doing that now, what's to stop it from doing it if I somehow force this game to work 2 hours down the line, the same thing happens again. I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. We got too much shit out. So, Gollum, it's been real. But you decided I was stopping. Disney Illusion Island, we completed this week, me and Amy. Really just strongly recommend this game for fucking almost anybody. Particularly, though, if you like Metroidvanias and you like the idea of a platform-centric Metroidvania without any combat. Disney Illusion Island is really great, and you should check it out. It's cheap, and I'm not going to spend too much time harping on it, but I would rate the game about a 8.5. It's really solid, no problems, definitely worth playing. So, and my allergies are kicking my ass. I'm over here like Mr. Sniffles and shit. Try to get through this. You are so totally muted. I'm gonna take like 5 seconds real quick. Why don't you tell people what your favorite food is real quick?
My favorite food? Let's see. I would say my favorite food. There's a liquor store across the street from the Annapolis Mall, and they have a little deli in the liquor store. Pretty unassuming little deli, nothing fancy. And they have things you'd expect to see on the menu. Nothing crazy, right? Ham and cheese and, turkey sandwich and all that. But they have on that menu a Reuben sub, and it's a yummy seeded roll with corned beef and Swiss, and yeah, I think that's my favorite. If you held a gun to my head and said you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life, it would be the Reuben sub from the liquor store deli across the street from the Annapolis Mall. It's one of my favorite sandwiches on the face of the planet Earth. But there you have it.
Thanks for making fun of me for the past 30 seconds.
No, I didn't actually. I talked about my favorite sandwich at the liquor store deli. I didn't make fun of you one bit. I had your back.
If I didn't go blow my nose at that point, like it was gonna start dribbling on my microphone.
Yeah, like, no good.
Just allergies, man. Armored Core 6.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one.
Have you played it?
Nope.
No. Armored Core 6, I'm having a lot of fun with. It's pretty badass. Very solid, fast combat, very good graphical presentation. Not what I would call super difficult for an Armored Core game.
Okay.
But maybe understand in that old Armored Core games had really tough controls. This game has very intuitive and easy controls.
Well, that's good.
But the depth in which you customize your Armored Core is still fucking bananas. And unlike old games, though, it does a really great job explaining what everything does. And at any point in time, you can go, I'm not quite sure what this does. And hit a button and read a thing that tells you exactly what it does. So you don't need to be afraid of Armored Core 6. Previous ones, yeah, be afraid. But 6? No, it's actually very easy to walk into.
It makes me intrigued to check it out.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's really, really good. The only thing that people might not like about it is just kind of common for this genre of games. So Armored Core 6 it's a mech combat game, but it plays a lot like Ace Combat does in terms of how the story is delivered and what's going on. Like you don't really well, that might not even be the best comparison because Ace Combat has these fucking wild full CG cutscenes that have nothing to do with what you're doing. So if those just weren't a thing and it was just the normal like mission briefing with the commander and stuff, that's more or less how Armored Core 6's story plays out. Is you're not really interacting with people, you're listening to them over your radio and stuff. So.
Got it.
But it does a very good job with it. So
you're
kind of old school. It's kind of a dated delivery method, but I respect that and I like it.
So are you basically in the cockpit of your mech the whole game essentially?
That or in the garage with your mech.
Got it.
Yeah. Which is a system of menus, to be clear. It's not like
right.
You're not Johnny Boy in third person walking around
having conversations. Yeah.
No, you never see your character.
Okay, that's cool.
You are 621. That is, you don't even have a name.
Okay.
So it's very cool. I really like the gameplay of it. It's not been evil in terms of its difficulty. So I think people really like it. And it does things that make sense. Like if you die, without having to go all the way back to your garage, you can pull up the menu to re-outfit your Armored Core. Maybe you brought 2 shotguns and you go, well, I'm getting chewed up by these guys at long range. I better switch one of my guns to a laser cannon. You can do that without having to completely bork the mission. You can just make the change, continue at the same checkpoint, and get on with your life.
Oh, that's great. Okay, good.
So it's really good. I'm really liking it. I think this is unfortunately being buried in between a lot of other releases.
Yeah.
Which we're about to talk about, but
yeah.
It's very good. So if you want a good game to play, if you want to stop trying to play bad games to see if they're actually bad and play something that's actually good, Armored Core 6 is a great way to get back on track playing not shitty video games.
There you go.
As like a confessional tied into that.
I can't believe Gollum just went, yeah, no, you don't get to play Chapter 5.
It says, oh, wait, this player's having an okay time with the game?
Nah, we gotta put a stop to that.
No.
We gotta put a stop to that. He's enjoying himself, can't have that.
Yeah. It's not like they're going to patch it. The team's gone.
Such a bummer.
They're gone. It is time, if I can breathe, to talk about September releases. As we draw near the end of the month of August, it is time to talk about what's in front of us. Johnny, for the same reason as previously stated,
yep.
Maybe you can get our list started here for me.
Sure, absolutely. Coming out 2 days from now, 2 days from when we're recording this, Sea of Stars, one of Mike and I's most anticipated games of the year. A very old school 16-bit graphic style JRPG that the pixel art on this is stunning. It appears that everything about this game is going to be stunning, from the music composition to I think this is one of my most anticipated games of the year in a 16-bit style JRPG, which doesn't happen very often, but it's coming out on Game Pass. I've already got it preloaded, I think, and yeah, I can't wait to play this game. I know you're excited for it too.
Well, it's the music is made by Mitsuda, the same guy that did Chrono Trigger.
Yep,
is doing the music for Sea of Stars, and it's a very Chrono Trigger inspired looking game and gameplay loop. So
yeah,
it's definitely the hat tip for that crowd. You know, a lot of people from my generation herald Chrono Trigger as the greatest of all time. So perhaps if it even holds a candle to that, it'll be doing good. That's out in just a couple of days. It's out on the 29th
8/29,
of
yep.
August. Next up, Trine 5. They're still making these Trine games.
They keep on making them.
Like, well, PlayStation keeps writing us checks to give away the game for free, so might as well keep on trucking with Trine. But they're actually fun games, so if that's your thing, Trine is out on the 31st. That brings us to actual September, and it also brings us to one of the most devastating days in console gaming history. And it wasn't planned or anything. It's just kind of worked out in this really fucking weird way. So Starfield, which we'll talk about more here in a second, is out on the 6th of September. But on that very same day, Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to the PlayStation 5. So the game that wasn't supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive also just so happens to be coming out on the day as the most consequential Xbox release probably of all time.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
Because they're in trouble. So not only doesn't that seem strange, Johnny?
Well, and it does seem strange, but I am also intrigued. I don't know if you saw this or not, but did you see that Larian and Microsoft have put their heads together and agreed to make a compromise on the Xbox Series S version of Baldur's Gate 3 will not support split screen co-op.
I like how you said that, like you read it from a news article. Because they, I don't mean that like down putting to you, but just think about the greater thing. These poor bastards over at Xbox got fucking shunted by Larian, right?
Yep.
And now they're having to come out in the press and be like, we worked out a compromise.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't work out a compromise. They're taking what they can fucking get. Because this game is too important for them to go, no, you said you would do this.
Yep. Yeah, and in that announcement where they said, hey, we worked it out, and it's, the split screen co-op feature is just not going to be on the Series S, in that same announcement said, oh, and it's going to be out before the end of the year. Like please, if you have an Xbox, just wait. Just please wait. Just please wait and buy it on your Xbox in like a month and a half. Please wait. So we're going to see it in 2023 on Xbox, which is a good thing, but
Larian has not made themselves a friend. They've really fucking shit on Microsoft, and I'm curious to see how that plays out in the future, because they really did Microsoft dirty.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, they really did them dirty.
But no, you're right. I mean, Microsoft needs this game, and the fact that it's coming out on the same day.
There's no compromise. It's desperation.
Right. Yeah, please release whatever we can do to make this come out this year before the holidays on our console. We need it to happen.
It's desperation, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I promise you, not a single person at Microsoft is like, we came up with a great compromise.
They're going, thank God it'll be out this year. Whatever. We took the L, but we took the W.
Well, here's the thing, right? Why isn't it out today then? Why isn't it out today then? It's already done. What's left to do?
Yep, you're not wrong.
This whole thing.
It's a great point.
So fucking stupid. And it's like the way the media covers it and presents it to us to like show this everything's great is just hysterical. That's not at all how it is. So, and yeah, I just think it's so fucking unironic that the release date for PS5 happens to be the release date of Starfield.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Well, and I'm really curious to see when this review embargo comes up on Starfield. Apparently, that's going to happen the 31st. So a week before release date, we will see the reviews for this game, and I think we're all curious to see, is this a 9.5 or is it a 7.8? I think it's going to be somewhere in between. Personally, I think I don't know what it is about this game, but it has me thinking it's going to be an 8-ish. But it's just me going on gut feeling alone. I have nothing to really base that on.
Oh no, I see this being upper 9s, 100%.
I hope so. I mean, dude, if it's a space RPG in the high 9s, we're all going to be happy, and I can't wait to play it.
It can't not be. I can tell just looking at it that it's going to be very good.
That's awesome news. I hope you're right.
It's really awesome news for everyone, but the folks that work at Bethesda, who were getting ready to release this game on all the consoles and collect all that money, and then found out that they weren't. PS5 version is done.
Yep.
This is not going to be released.
Mm.
No, I'm very ready for Starfield. I wanna try it on my actual Xbox. You know, this thing that I paid all this money for that's supposed to play amazing exclusive games that a subscription's supposed to take care of for me, but I digress.
Yeah.
So I canceled my Game Pass and just bought Starfield on a fucking disc.
There you have it.
So I'm gonna play it like that, and we'll see what happens. I hope it's great. I hope it's everything I want and more. Because if it is, it could be my favorite game ever. Who knows? I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Super Bomberman R2.
Oh yeah.
I just had to give Bomberman some love. It's an isometric Bomberman game though, so if that's your thing, I mean, more power to you. That's out on the 12th. I am very not gonna probably play that though.
No.
It
looks fun.
Ad Infinitum. Another game that I'm personally not going to play, but it's a horror game that's been kind of in the background for a while. It's finally coming out on the 14th. Johnny, you watched the trailer for it. What were your initial thoughts on Ad Infinitum?
You know what's funny? It reminded me of a mobile game. There's a mobile game series. I know they're on iPad. I don't know. I'm sure they're probably on other platforms at this point, but they're called The Room, where you're in a room and there are these puzzles and you have to figure out how to open this or how to do that. And this game, although it's a horror game and there's a monster that you're apparently running from, a big chunk of this trailer is puzzles. So I think this is going to be primarily an adventure game. They kind of present it as maybe it's a first-person shooter, but we never see a gun. I don't think it's a first-person shooter. I think it's a first-person adventure/horror game. So I think it's going to be explore around, figure out the puzzles, and then like a la like maybe Amnesia, you hide from the monster or figure out the way to close the door behind the monster so you can get away, stuff like that. But I mean, the art style in this is really neat, and I'm intrigued to see a horror game take place in. I can't really tell if it's World War I or World War II, but it's definitely one of the big world wars. World War I. Okay. So I mean, yeah, period piece with a monster and a kind of a cool adventure-y puzzle sort of horror game. I'm intrigued to check it out. Looks cool.
For all my motor bros, the Crew Motorfest is out on the 14th of September. The Crew does have this weird, small cult following.
I believe that.
And I think those are the same people that like mix mayonnaise and ketchup together. Just complete agents of chaos.
Okay.
Are the people that play the Crew over like, I don't know, any other game with a car in it. Just absolute Agents of Chaos. They're like, oh, that's a nice string cheese you have there. Single bite. That's the kind of person
No.
playing the crew Motorfest. They're like, ah, nice Kit Kat there. Just one bite across the whole row.
Ugh, stop it. No.
Oh, it's pizza night?
I like to eat it crust first.
Let me get pineapple and vodka sauce pizza.
Oh, God. Oh, I can taste the vomit in my mouth when you describe that pizza. That is so disgusting. Pineapple and vodka sauce pizza. Ooh.
These are the people playing.
No, so I mean, you're a big racing fan, and I know you've played all of these games. Like, how does the crew vary from the others? Like, where does it place itself? What makes it different?
I'm glad
is it different?
I'm glad you asked that question, actually. So imagine if Forza Horizon was made by the most egregious, money-grubbing Ubisoft possible.
Got it.
Where everything you see in the game is behind a glass case.
Yeah, I mean, because my impression of watching this trailer is it was just like, it's like Forza Horizon without the polish. You know, it looks
Forza,
okay.
It's Forza, but Ubisoft.
Yeah. Okay. So my gut instinct was right on this, because that's kind of what I was getting vibes of.
Ketchup and mayonnaise mixed into the same sauce.
String cheese. Ow.
That is who this is for.
No.
Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster. For the 5 people who bought it on GameCube when it released initially, there's an HD remaster coming out on the 15th of September. You know, I remember Baten Kaitos more for X-Play than I do for the actual game itself. Because I can still remember the episode of X-Play where they reviewed Baten Kaitos. And I think they gave it a 1 out of 5 stars.
Oh my God.
And just ripped it a new asshole while mercilessly making fun of it for 20 minutes. Now, that being said, the game's actually not anywhere near as bad as old man Adam Sessler made it out to be on his former TV show.
I mean, that was going to be my question, is why are they remastering a game if it's that terrible? But I guess it's just...
It was just Adam Sessler.
Adam just really didn't like it.
No, he really hated it. It's actually a decent game series. It's also, if you're a GameCube collector, very valuable and very desirable to have the original copies of Baten Kaitos. So for most people, it'll be their first chance to play the long dormant Japanese role-playing games. And if you're interested in them, you can go pick them up. Gloomhaven, which, you know, I didn't make super detailed notes here because I'm a terrible person today, I guess. But I know has been out on PC for some time, but it's finally coming to consoles on September 18th. For those unfamiliar with Gloomhaven, it's going to look kind of like a D&D game, but it has a lot more rules, a lot more systems, because it's actually a tabletop boxed board game that if you've ever been into a game store and you look and see this box that you would describe as a chest because it's so massive.
Huge box, yeah.
It's probably Gloomhaven or Frosthaven that's in that box. And so the well-received PC game, 4 years later, finally is making it to consoles. So For those that were holding out to play Gloomhaven on their console, you finally get your chance.
True story. That game has been on my Steam wish list for like 2 years. I've never pulled the trigger. I keep watching the trailer, going, "This looks like a game I would like." I don't know why I don't have it yet. Still don't have it. Still just sitting in my Steam wish list, but it looks cool. It looks like a lot of fun. I like turn-based shit like that, so I'm intrigued to check it out.
Next up, a game that seems to be used mostly as ammunition as to why I shouldn't have canceled my Game Pass subscription. Lies of P comes out September 19th. Johnny, hear me out here. I see via your gesturing we might have a similar take here. A lot of people seem to be hyped up on Lies of P.
Yeah, I don't get the hype at all.
Why the fuck is anyone hyped up on this game? It looks terrible to me.
It looks janky as fuck.
I don't get it. Is it just because it's a Game Pass day one game that the apologists are like trying to make room for?
I think it's a Souls-like. I think there are enough people that are really into Souls-likes that when they see a Souls-like, they're going to be excited about it, regardless of who's making it, regardless of, it's just a Souls-like, and I think there's a lot of people that are excited for more Souls-like games. That's my theory.
And it's fucking Pinocchio.
Yeah, I'm super Luke on this one. I'm super lukewarm.
Lukewarm. I'm cold. I have no interest in Lies of P at all, and I'm going to be curious to see what happens to this game.
Yeah, I want to see how it's reviewed. I mean, Mike, let's be real. If it comes out and it's like a 9 something, and they're saying it's one of the best Souls-like games ever, you'll play it.
Maybe.
So I mean,
it's still at the end of the day a fucking Pinocchio game.
There is that, yes.
So,
yeah,
and let's back up a step, right? If anyone with a brain in the gaming industry, let's face it, there are people in the gaming industry that are a lot smarter than you or myself, allegedly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
If any one intelligent person looked at this game and saw the potential, right, of it being what you just said, a 9 or a 9.5, why on earth would it be a Game Pass day one release? So
very true.
I'm just going to say it's probably a very mid game.
Yep.
Because your first red flag is that it's coming to Game Pass and that it's not a first party release.
Yep.
That is your big red flag. Now there's another game on here that's doing that I think is going to be very good. That's Sea of Stars. But I think the market for something like Sea of Stars on its best day is small.
Yep.
And the market for a good or potentially a 9er Souls-like game, I mean, that would be, Johnny, to say that it's going to be like Elden Ring.
Right.
And
it's not going to be, period.
Like, the best I could hope for is that it's a 7.5 kind of thing.
We'll see.
And even that seems kind of unrealistic. Otherwise, why wouldn't they just gut it out and try to sell the game and try and sell it on multiple platforms? The fact that they went, oh, we're just going to take this one check from Microsoft and call it a day is usually a sign that it's not
that special. Yeah.
So, Lies of P, I know a lot of you out there are excited for it. I don't know why the fuck. Maybe if you'll tell us why we're crazy in the comments or something. We do have a history of changing our minds, especially me, which might seem odd because I don't think I sound like someone whose mind can be easily changed, but I promise you it can.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 1. Why the fuck did they call it Mortal Kombat 1?
I don't know.
We don't talk about fighting games a lot on this channel, and I know that this has been out for a while, like this whole it's Mortal Kombat 1. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes it when you take a game series that's been around for 30 fucking years, release a new game, and then put a 1 after your game release. Nobody likes that. Nobody. Just call it fucking Ultimate Mortal Kombat.
Something, yeah, exactly. Mortal Kombat Legacy or something, and then just go. That's just the new one is Mortal Kombat Legacy, and here's Mortal Kombat Legacy 2 and Legacy
Johnny,
3.
you gotta follow modern gaming conventions. Mortal Kombat Infinite, Mortal Komfall. You know,
I mean, it's the naming thing is becoming a problem as we get further down the line. I mean, just go onto a digital video game store and search Call of Duty 3, and it's going to be like, which one?
You know what the real problem is? You know what the real problem is?
What's the real problem?
Stop making Mortal Kombat. Make something new. Make the next Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking shit that I scream about with movies. It's like, guys, stop making Star Wars. Make the next one. It's been long enough. I promise you can come up with something new. We don't need more Marvel movies. Where's the next comic book?
Yeah.
We've had some people try, and it's just like, consumers suck. Like, oh, it's new. I don't know. I don't know if I like new. I think I just want the same thing that I've had my entire life for my entire life. And it's like, then you get bullshit like Ahsoka. Ugh. I digress. You look like you really like Ahsoka, which
Ahsoka's awesome.
Yeah, I believe you'd say that. Payday 3. Payday 3 is coming out September 21st. Johnny, you ready to rob some banks?
I just the multiplayer do the same shit over and over and over again with friends thing. It's just a genre of game that I'm just completely done with.
Okay, that's fair. Payday,
they look fun. It looks fun.
But,
it looks fun.
But I do want to, I guess, let me put this out there about Payday 3.
Okay.
What makes Payday interesting is that there are so many different levels. So many. And so, like, there's an actual game there. Like, if you want to say, I just want to go through and do all the heists, that's going to take you a couple weeks with your friends. You're going to have a blast doing it.
Okay.
However, if you're going to say, I'm going to be the next pro Payday 3 player, get the fuck out of here. I don't have time for you. I just want to rob the bank, maybe do it a couple of times, and then move on to the next bank to rob. I don't need to be going down to Willie's game competition to play some Payday 3 with my squad. No thanks.
I mean, look, the trailer looks great. This is a game like Steam has done free weekends on Payday a bunch of times, multiple times they've done it. And there's been on several of those occasions that I've said, "Oh, it's a free Payday weekend. Let me fire up Payday 2." And it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing.
Yep. The game has had serious staying power. The Payday 2 came out in 2013. So
people still play it.
People still play the fuck out of it.
Still a big game, yep.
Yeah, so a lot of people very excited for Payday 3. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty coming out at the end of September. I will be, of course, all over this the moment I can be. Presuming that I finish Starfield in an orderly fashion. Gonna be all over Cyberpunk. I've got so much on my plate right now, dude.
I know. I feel you.
Because I've got Armored Core, Blasphemous 2, Sea of Stars, Starfield, Cyberpunk.
Yep.
And I did still want to go back and see, what was it? Immortals of Avium.
Yep.
Because that looks like it's actually super decent.
I watched Shroud play that for an hour or two. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, which is
Not at all.
what I like to see. And
I
it's a
still
new
need to
IP,
play.
so I want to buy it.
I still need to play Final Fantasy 16, bro. Like I can't
You
even
and
get
me
caught up
both,
this year.
but we might just have to wait for a window where we have that game's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't feel like
Yeah,
high urgency to get on that. It's good. We know it's good. It's going to be there for us on a day where we need something to play. But Immortals of Avium, I'm like, if I don't play that like relatively soon, I'm just going to forget about it. Because there's just too much shit coming out this year. This year's just been so crazy.
it's true. But the Cyberpunk DLC looks great. CD Projekt Red don't miss on DLC. They just don't. Their DLCs are always great. The Witcher 3, both of the DLCs are some of the best content in that game. So I'm extremely excited for them to add on to Cyberpunk. And I don't know about you, but I think I want to start from scratch now that there's this new skill tree and new abilities and new weapons and new vehicles and all that shit. I think it's time to just start a new game and load that DLC and start over.
Yeah, I want to buy it on Steam and play it over here on PC.
It's awesome on PC. It's so good on PC.
Having this absolute monster here that I barely ever play games on is
it's so good on PC, bro. You won't regret it.
The 3080 and the 7700 that like I play games on like once every couple of months.
Such a fucking waste. Jesus Christ.
Got a beautiful PS5 behind me and a Switch and a thing that can run Game Pass.
And you're gonna play Starfield on the Xbox. Jesus.
Yeah, I want to sit on my couch, dude. Hang out with my dog. You know what I mean?
Sweet 30 frames per second. Dude, just get a 50-foot HDMI cable.
You
just wire HDMI cable to your TV.
You forget
from your computer.
You forget. Part of why I want to play it that way isn't because that is the best experience I have access to. I want to play it so I can objectively experience the game the way the majority of people who are going to experience the game are going to experience it.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
That's the whole point. If I sit down and it's just complete ass, I have no problem turning around and downloading it off Steam and playing it there.
So, yep, fair enough.
Finally, on the 29th, Cocoon, a game I once recall saying looked meh and then being chastised by Johnny. So
I think it looks dope. I'm actually like this like worlds within worlds sort of, and I love the isometric sort of actiony games like this, like Curse of the Dead Gods or Hades, or there's a lot of I like that style of game.
The first video game you ever played was an isometric view game.
Which game would that be?
Isn't it crazy some of the shit that I can remember? I just want to say that, like, in passing conversation once, you told me that the first game that you ever played was Zaxxon on the ColecoVision.
That was the first game I played on a video game console.
Fine.
The first video game I ever played. Hold on, because it's right here on the shelf. Kinderkamp on the Commodore 64. This was a learning game with the alphabet, and I was like 4 or 5 years old and played this game. This was my first video game.
So I know it. So Zaxxon,
first real video game,
which is an isometric view, fucking flight game.
Hell yeah,
super ahead of its time for the system it came out on. But anyway, go ahead. Cocoon is triggering this childhood instinct that you have.
I just think it looks cool. I like mind bendy sort of games, and the like zoom out into another world and then zoom out again into another world and zoom out again into another world. It looks really cool, and I don't know, I dig it. It's doing something kind of different, and I just want to see what it's like.
Well, that wraps up the games coming out next week. So it's time for our final segment. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny is now going to tell us why Ahsoka is not terrible and unnecessary.
Did you watch it?
Here we go again.
Did you watch it?
No, I'm not
Okay.
gonna sit.
Okay, all right. But you loved Andor, right? And I'm not saying that Ahsoka is as good as Andor. I'm not saying that, but I am saying so far.
Do we have to do this every time? Can I just hate it? Can I just fucking hate it?
You haven't watched it, so no, you can't. You don't get to hate some shit you haven't watched
yet. I don't need more Star Wars.
Okay,
listeners, I do not need it.
If you enjoyed Star Wars Rebels, if you liked the show, if you liked that cast of characters, you will be very excited to see Ahsoka. To see Hera Syndulla and Chopper and Sabine and Ahsoka, and they're all gearing up together to fight against Ralph Ray Stevenson, who is an amazing, badass, evil Jedi. So far, we're 2 episodes in, and I'm actually really excited about it. I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far.
There's a Jedi gonna fight a Sith? No fucking way.
He's not a Sith.
Oh, what color is his lightsaber?
Orange.
Oh,
not red.
Okay.
It's awesome. You can hate it all you want, but so far it's really good.
I'm just so tired of it, dude. I'm just so tired.
I know.
It's like, you know about the anime One Piece? You know how many episodes One Piece is? There's like 5,000 episodes of the show. Because no one will tell them to fucking stop.
And now they're doing live action on Netflix. Comes out this week.
Right. No one will tell them to stop. It's like, just stop.
Just end it.
Just
it's okay.
Stop. That's how I feel about Star Wars. And like subsequently then anything that comes out, I'm just immediately like, why are we still doing this? Please stop. Please stop. Because I'm sure I could sit and watch and be like, oh yeah, that was a cool action sequence. But I'm still going to be like, but why does it? The number one question I had with Andor is, why does this have to be a Star Wars show? Like, it would be so much better if it just wasn't a Star Wars show.
Mike, I'm going to call you out here for a moment. Teenage Mike Dawson would be ashamed that you're not excited about the TV show that's finally going to bring Thrawn to the big screen.
No, that TV show actually already happened, right? That's the whole point. Is we're so far down the fucking rabbit hole that we're recycling the children's cartoon.
Well, we're gonna get live action Thrawn. I'm excited about live action Thrawn. I can't wait to see him.
I don't need
one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
I don't need the live action depiction. I've already got the books that he came out in.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need it.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry, modern Star Wars fans. I used to be the biggest Star Wars fan on the planet. I'm just straight up not anymore. I'm just so tired of the amount of content that's just getting force fed and dumped on us. I know I'm in the minority.
And what's your one up for this week?
A remaster of a video game that horrendously needs to be remastered. Dark Forces, which we had the announcement of the Dark Forces remaster. Yeah. Johnny's sitting over there smiling and grinning. Johnny, pop quiz. What year was Dark Forces released on the PC? What year, roughly? Take a guess.
97.
Very close. 1995.
Okay.
Now, 1995 is how many years, right, from 1983, which is the year that the final Star Wars movie came out?
12 years.
I'm double checking because I'm that horrible at math. Yes, that's right. 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So how many years has it been since 1995 and today?
Almost 30.
So it probably needs to be remastered because it's been more than double the time since that came out and the final actual Star Wars movie was released. It needs a remaster badly. It plays like
it does.
Ass. And so, it's just really cool to get a cleaned up version. I'm sure it's not costing them anything.
Yep.
And for guys like myself that like to be able to experience Star Wars before it was the village bicycle that everyone rode into the fucking dirt, some content from back then and actually be able to enjoy that and keep it for years to come in a much nicer, cleaner condition.
When are we going to get Shadows of the Empire remastered?
Never, because Disney eliminated it from canon. They said Shadows of the Empire is gone. So no Prince Shizor, none of that. Disney said no.
Lame.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I would love a remaster of that.
There is no remaster. It was a book. Oh, you mean the game? Okay.
The game. I'm talking about the N64 game. Wasn't that the game?
Yeah,
N64 Shadows of the Empire? Yeah,
absolutely.
I want a remaster of that.
It was a book. I'm sorry. I'm heartbroken about the book. I bought that book the day it was released because that was actually the beginning of the end. That was the first time we had a major canonical event that took place in between one of the main movies with the main characters. It was a really big fucking deal. Like even Taco Bell had fucking Shadows of the Empire toys in their kids' meals. I know because
the book?
From the book.
Wow, I don't remember that. That's wild.
Remember, people used to read books and buy them. And there was these amazing places called bookstores that would occupy like 3 floors of the mall and were like the coolest spot to go to. None of that shit exists anymore because, you know.
Thanks, Amazon.
Thanks, Bob Iger. Anyway, I digress. Dark Forces Remastered.
Looks cool. Looks fun.
It looks like Dark Forces, but not running at 10 frames per second, which is all it needs to not do to be good.
True.
Johnny, any closing thoughts for me or the audience? If you need to have the final word on Star Wars, where I don't say anything shitty to counter it, this would be a great chance.
No, I mean, I think any of the listeners that listen to the show regularly know your stance on Marvel and Star Wars at this point. You're just like, they could announce Quentin Tarantino is doing a fucking Marvel movie, and you'd be like, I don't give a fuck.
I thankfully can recant an interview where he said he would never do a Marvel or Star Wars movie. Okay. I'm at no risk of this happening.
Okay. I'm just saying, if it happened, you still wouldn't care.
Correct.
You'd still be like, yeah, but why do I need another one? I'm done.
That horse is very dead and smelly.
But then things like Andor happen. If you just give yourself a chance to enjoy something, you might be surprised and enjoy something.
Well, I have you for that.
Yeah,
because you'll go, no, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make you sit and watch it with me. And then I'll be like, okay, now I know it's real. But if I'm just like, Ahsoka, this.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, so far in the first 2 episodes, I think it's better than most of what we've had from The Mandalorian. It's really awesome.
Oh, The Mandalorian's so painfully bad.
The last season was pretty rough,
yeah.
Season 1 and 2 are great. Season 3 was
1 is great,
aimless.
1 is great, 2 ends strong, but is otherwise terrible. And 3 is just unwatchable.
3 was pretty bad.
But I do like Andor, and I can't wait for more Andor because I think Andor is just a great story.
Oh man, season 2 of that's going to be fucking fire.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this week's episode of the Power Gamer Podcast. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch you on the flip-flop.
Ooh, yeah. Or